ויאללה פירקון ויאללה כפירוס ויאללה צ'ירוס ויאללה מלחומוס שהוסיסו לבריסייני ביומים וואי בזמן הזה
Hello everyone, this is the third segment on menorah lighting in shul, and I'd like to talk about the brachot. Namely, a guy lighting in shul made the brachot. First night 3 brachot, second night 2 brachot. Does he make the same brachot at home? The halacha is regarding the first 2 brachot, la'adlik ner Chanukah, la'adlik ner shel Chanukah, and sha'as hanisim. Those 2 brachot he makes at home as well. It is very much like those that live in Chutz La'aretz and daven in Nusach Ashkenaz shuls, or those that remember Chutz La'aretz. It's like Kiddush in shul. We do it in shul, but since we're not Yotze, because we don't eat there, ve'in Kiddush elo b'mkom suda, we have to make Kiddush again at home. Same thing here. You light the menorah in shul. It's a minhag. We explained it. But the bottom line is you're not Yotze your menorah lighting unless you do it in your home. And therefore you go home and you make the first 2 brachot. But what about שהחיינו on the first night? A guy goes to shul, at the end of mincha, he was the one that lit the menorah, and he said שהחיינו. Does he repeat it at home? Says Rav Moshe Feinstein, yes. Not only is it like Kiddush, but שהחיינו has to be on a menorah that's a chova. Namely, in an entire year, we haven't had a menorah lighting in shul, that minhag. So you made a שהחיינו on the minhag. But when you get home, you have to make a שהחיינו on not the minhag, but on the obligation of lighting it at home. And therefore, they're like 2 separate things. One שהחיינו is for the lighting in shul, and one שהחיינו is for the lighting at home. In a word, says Rav Moshe Feinstein, the one in shul is a minhag, the one at home is a chova, is an obligation. From this perspective, you make all 3 brachot at home, just like you repeat the entire Kiddush at home, even though you made it in shul. But Rov HaPoskim, the majority of Poskim, disagree. And for multiple reasons, they say the first 2 brachot, yes, but not שהחיינו for the actual lighter of the menorah. Reason number 1 they give is very simple. You don't have to make שהחיינו on the candle lighting. Omra afilu bashuk, says the Gemara. So therefore, you said it. You happened to say it in shul, but you could have said it on the way home too. It was already said on behalf of Hanukkah. Number 2, let's be honest, even though this is a minhag and this is a chova, it's very similar at the end of the day. So therefore, I would advise that when it comes to the first 2 brachot, 100% repeat it at home. However, when it comes to שהחיינו, if you were the lighter and you actually said it in shul, then when you get home, you will not say the שהחיינו, except of course, if everyone at home doesn't know how to say the brachot, and you need to say it on their behalf. But if that's not the case, then first 2 brachot, yes, שהחיינו, if said already in shul, not. In our next segment, we're going to deal with the opposite question. You lit the menorah at home, you said שהחיינו at home, and now you came to shul for Ma'ariv and they're lighting a menorah. Do you repeat שהחיינו or not? Person lit, say, the menorah at sunset, as is the minhag of the Gra and others. And then he came to shul for Ma'ariv. And they say, hey, you're right in time. Why don't you light the menorah in shul? So he's already lit at home. He said all 3 blessings at home. He sang Maos Tzur. He even had a jelly donut. And now he comes to shul to light the menorah. Does he say all 3 blessings? The Ben Ish Chai says, don't repeat it at shul. We don't know if you have to or not. And like the opposite side of the question that we just presented, Safek, Brachot, Lahakel, when there's any doubt with a bracha, don't say God's name in doubt, and therefore do not make this bracha. Shut Zera HaEmet, together with others like the Tzitz Eliezer, say that he does. It's very much like a precedent we have called an Aliyah to the Torah. When you get an Aliyah, you say exactly the bracha you made earlier that day when you got up in the morning. Every morning we get up, we say a whole series of brachas. One of them is Birkas HaTorah, and one of them is Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'Natan Lanu Et Toratos. Even though a person said it earlier, when he comes to shul, he repeats it if he gets an aliyah, because the original bracha was on his personal learning of Torah and practicing of Torah, and this bracha in shul is on the public learning of Torah via the laning. So the same thing here. The bracha at home was on his private menorah, and the one in shul is for the public menorah, and therefore he would repeat all three blessings. Regarding this particular blessing, שהחיינו, says the Tzitz Eliezer, there's three reasons why the Zera Emet, quoted by the Shari Tshuva, is correct, that you repeat it in shul even though you already said it at home on that first night. Number one, there's more Pirsumei Nisa in shul. You're publicizing the miracle even more. At home, I don't know how many people saw your menorah, but for sure at shul, if you are makbid on a minyan, as we spoke about, then obviously there's going to be an enhanced publication of the miracle. Number two, he says that it could very well be there were people in shul that did not yet light the menorah or can't light a menorah, and they would be yotzeh their particular mitzvah via this one. And number three, he says שהחיינו is different. Yes, the Ben Ish Chai is correct that safek brachot lahakel, we usually say don't make a bracha if there's a reason not to, but שהחיינו is different, because even if you don't have to make it on the Chanukiyah per se, on the mitzvah of lighting the menorah, you can say שהחיינו on anything that makes you happy. For example, you get a new suit, you get new shoes, so any good news? From this perspective, since you're happy it's the first night of Hanukkah, you could be more mekel on שהחיינו than other brachos. That's the position of the Bach that many poskin like, that שהחיינו is different. And therefore he says, even though you made the bracha at home, you would repeat it in shul. However, the Kaf HaChaim disagrees and says that I agree with you that the precedent of Birkas HaTorah is correct for the first two blessings. But with regard to שהחיינו, if the whole congregation already heard שהחיינו, then you don't repeat it again in shul. Once again, שהחיינו is different, because there's one שהחיינו per customer. Namely, one שהחיינו for Hanukkah, one שהחיינו for Yom Kippur, one שהחיינו per Yantiv. And therefore, if everyone already said שהחיינו and there's no one there that has to fulfill their obligation of שהחיינו, you wouldn't repeat it in shul. But the first two blessings, very much like Birkas HaTorah, namely to repeat again. When you say Birkas HaTorah in the morning, it's for your personal learning and practicing of Torah. When you do it in shul, it's for the public laning and learning of Torah. Same thing here. When you light your menorah at home, it's private. When you light the menorah in shul, it's public. So to sum up, on both sides of the question, if you lit the menorah in shul, it seems pretty clear you repeat the first two blessings at home and vice versa. With שהחיינו, we find that there's a difference of opinion. And in my humble opinion, you should not say שהחיינו if you've already said it at home, unless there's someone there that hasn't heard it yet.
I like